Good morning, guys. No time to talk right now. We'll catch up in just a minute. I gotta hurry up. It's extra icy out here this morning. I can't feel my fingers. It's a lot easier to do this when the wind's not knocking you over or treating your straps like a kite. of here. Again, this is Scott's. I do feel like I have a lot to explain to you guys if you're keeping up with my story. I don't want to get too long-winded though with it, but there are some changes that have occurred this week, and basically this place is slowing down. There is a lack of demand for this product right now. It is still winter. So basically the way that that's affected me is that I've found that I'm only getting one of these loads per day. And it's not because Scott's isn't motivated to ship the stuff, it's because the stores are hesitant to receive the stuff because they only have so much room for it. And when they run out of room, they're not going to take any more right now. So I went from doing 2 of these a day to doing 1 of them a day. And this will be day number 4 that I've actually only done 1 load in a day of Scott's. And so what that does for me is it puts me in a predicament with my company. That pretty much forces me to have to do broker loads, local broker loads. And I'm running into issues with this whole scenario. I'm running into issues because I'll pick up a load from here in the morning. Normally, or it used to be that when they were actually busy, they had all of our trailers preloaded. Well, that's not the case anymore. They're not preloading our trailers. So I have to come in here first thing in the morning, grab a trailer, they'll load it, and then I have to, stage it, strap it, and all that stuff in the morning. When before I was doing that the day before, I would come back after I delivered my second load, and then I would get my paperwork from my first load the next day, go hook up to the trailer because it was already loaded. I would strap everything down and then take it to the yard in Jackson. Well, because they're not preloading the trailers the day before anymore, I'm having to do it the day of the first, the first load delivery, the first load appointment, which means I got to do all the work before I deliver the load. And because these are retail stores, there are set appointment times to deliver this stuff. A lot of times the receiving hours for some of these places don't start until 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. In the case for this particular load, my appointment's not till 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's about 2.5 hours away from here. It's in Fitzgerald, Georgia, so we got to go far south to get to this place. Now these broker loads are no exception because they have specific appointment times. And the problem that I'm running into is that the appointment times for my second load, or let me put it this way, the appointment times for my first load are interfering with the appointment times for my second load because they're not related in any way. And basically what I have to do today is drive all the way to Fitzgerald, get there by 10 o'clock, which I'm gonna be late, deliver there, which is gonna take about half an hour at least, and then get my butt over to a small city. It's called Mauk, M-A-U-K, Georgia, to a sand pit. I'm picking up sand after this. In order to make it on time for my second delivery, I should be in Mauk, Georgia by 10 o'clock this morning, but I have to be at my first delivery at 10 o'clock. and Fitzgerald and Mauk are not close together, okay? I looked at the map. They are at least 2 hours apart. I have to get off of the interstate and drive 2 hours northwest to get my second load. Like I said, it's sand. Now I'm taking that all the way up to Buford, Georgia, another 2.5 hour drive to get up there. The delivery cutoff time is 1400 today for that second load, meaning that I'm supposed to get from Mock, Georgia to Buford, Georgia by 1400, and it's not gonna happen. I looked at it, best case scenario, 1600. Best case scenario. Now the bad thing about where I'm delivering is that it's a school. And there's a good reason. I've delivered at schools before. If it's a new school, they're a little bit looser with, you know, what times they'll receive your load. They can work with you a little bit, but if it's an existing school, they don't want to mess with it after a certain time period because schools get extremely busy. Now on top of that, even if I do get all the way up there and I do deliver and they take it, I'm gonna have to drive back down to Scott's and see if they have my first load for tomorrow preloaded. If they do, I have to stage it, strap it, and then get my butt back to the yard in Jackson to shut down for the day. Altogether, this is over 500 miles of driving, like local driving. Now I know I just talked for like 15 minutes, but I just wanted to explain to you guys what's going on today and why this is such a hassle, such a big deal, because I'm basically being forced to do impossible dispatches because Scott's is slow right now. And because they want to keep me local, I'm being forced to do impossible things. I mean, things that I know are impossible. And that's the only sense that I can make of it. I tried to talk to my boss last night about it to try to make sense of what he's doing, how he's setting these broker loads up, because logically, it's out the freaking window. And I basically told him that. I was like, you know, this makes no sense. And I'm telling you right now that that second load is an impossible dispatch. There's no way that I can do that. I cannot be in two places at the same time, in other words. And all he said to me was, well, we're just gonna do the best we can. You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like denial. And that sounds like wishful thinking. But guys, remember, I've been doing this for 8 years. I've been a truck driver for 8 years. And over half of that time period, I've been local in the state of Georgia. I know how long it takes to do stuff. And I know for a fact that I'm not gonna make it on time for that second delivery. Whether or not he chooses to accept that is beyond me. I have no control over it. But I just wanted to say that before I let you guys go for now. I'll get back with you once we get down there to Fitzgerald and we'll continue on with the video. Like I said, I know it's a long intro, I know. I had a lot to say, but I had to explain the way things are going right now. I had to explain it to you. I've got 3 weeks left. I'm not even gonna say that because that might be wishful thinking. So I'm just trying to take one day at a time. The factors of this particular job, they've gotten extremely difficult in the past week or so. My truck, I think it's on its last limb. It's not doing well at all. I'm having issues with it on a daily basis. It keeps trying to break down on me. I'm having to do things that you should not have to do to drive a truck to keep it running. I'm not talking about in a safety aspect. I'm talking about in a mechanical aspect. I'm having to do things with this truck to keep it running that you should never have to do while you're driving one of these things. But I'm being forced to do it so that I can stay on the road and keep going, keep running. But it is what it is, and for the next 3 weeks, I'm gonna have to deal with it. Guys, this is what I'm talking about. You see that oil light? That's coming on because the gauge right here is dropping to 0. Now let me prove to you what I was trying to explain in my last video. Check this out. Let's get out of the truck real quick. I'm gonna shut everything off. There's a kill switch down here by my leg. All right, all the power is disconnected to the truck. Only thing I've been able to do as a countermeasure, like I said, and this is what I'm saying, doing things that you should never have to do while you're driving a freaking truck, especially a manual. Flip the ignition while you're driving it. Check this out. Hopefully this will fix it temporarily. You see all that smoke coming out of there? It's burning oil quicker than it can keep up with, I think. Alright, you see the level. Let me show you. I don't know how good the camera's gonna pick this up, but there's a grate right there, a lattice pattern. And according to this, it's at the perfect level. Perfect level. Exactly where it should be. It's right in the center of that lattice. You guys see that? Right in the center of it. I'm gonna fill it all the way up. I don't need the truck to last. It's not my truck, but I do need it to last for the next 3 weeks until I can get through this crap. I'm almost out of oil. And I'm almost completely out. All right, I mean, it's pretty close. It's almost full right there. I have to put a little bit more in there, fill it up all the way. So you see, it's not technically the oil pressure. It's not low on freaking oil. I'm just having to put more in it because it's burning it so fast. That's the best I can do with that. Now let's check the freaking water level. I just filled it up before I left this morning. Now they jerry-rigged some of the stuff down here because it was leaking water last week pretty bad out of here. He said it had something to do with the AC lines, and he tied something off down there to stop that water leak. It's also got a faulty EGR sensor on it or some crap like that. I just filled this thing up this morning. Something's leaking down here. It looks like the yep, it's leaking down here. This high pressure hose on the bottom of the radiator, it's leaking water. You see that? It's pretty steady drip there. I'm trying to depressurize this thing safely instead of taking it right off. Truck's not running hot, but I want to try to get rid of some of that pressure. Okay, it's got water coming out of it. Since I'm actually seeing a drip, I'm gonna have to call him and let him know about that. Last week the water was leaking so bad I was having to put like 6 gallons in it every freaking 100 miles or so. Still having to work, still having to do my job while I'm doing all this shit because they don't know how to fix anything. They won't put any money into this truck, and they got a junkyard over there in Jackson. So they'll take old parts off of the trucks that they already have that are just junk and try to put them on this truck like that's gonna fix anything. And that's all they've done. And I'm just sick of it, you guys. I'm sick of it. They won't fix it, but they expect me to do my job. Hey, there's a leak on the, I guess it's the high pressure side of the radiator down at the bottom. It's not horrible, but I'm just letting you know. I had to stop again because, I mean, all day yesterday and first thing this morning, the oil pressure light came back on. It's doing the same thing it was doing before.
Is it because you're low on water?
No, the water's good. I just checked it. It was low this morning, but I put 3 gallons in it. And I just checked it again. It's not leaking like it was last week, but it is leaking. I can see it coming out at the bottom of the radiator.
When's the last time you had to put oil in it?
Just now. It was at the middle mark on the dipstick, and I filled it all the way up. So I'm gonna get back on the road and see if that fixes it or not. It usually does. But it was doing the same thing yesterday. The oil pressure light kept coming on, and I just kept having to flip the ignition to keep it running. I did that twice yesterday with the oil. Like I just top it off. And it,
right, I think maybe something's up with that dipstick, man. I thought Omar changed it when y'all blocked that cap out.
I'm pretty sure it's the same one, but yeah, it's just I pull it out, check it. There's smoke pouring out of the freaking the engine.
Right.
I mean, it's like it's hot. It's burning oil. And they just changed that oil, and it's already like black again.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, yeah. See how it runs, and then just give me a shout at that.
All right. Hey, I got pressure reading back on the gauge again, so that's good. Guys, I don't know how much longer this truck's gonna last, honestly. Apparently, I mean, I know you guys don't know the backstory, the history. I mean, obviously you do. You've seen, if you've watched my videos since I started working with this company, then you know that I've always had issues with this truck, but it's on another level now where it's a daily thing. And they've been trying to fix this truck all month, basically. They've been fighting with it, trying to get it to run right. They'll take it in, they'll look at it, it'll run for a few days, maybe a week if I'm lucky, and then it'll start acting up again. And this is something, like I said, I know I just talked a lot of crap. It's because I'm frustrated, guys. I'm extremely frustrated because whatever this is, they can't fix it. They don't know what's wrong with it. Either that, or they know it's gonna be expensive to fix it. It's gonna cost more than what the truck is actually worth to them to fix it. But all I need is another 3 weeks out of it. That's all I need. That's all I'm thinking about right now. Trying to take each day at a time, trying to keep the thing running. I mean, I'm at the point now where I don't even care if I'm working or not. I don't care how much money I make in the next 3 weeks. None of that matters to me. I have to stay employed for the next 3 weeks. I don't care if I'm on time or anything. I don't care. But I have to come to work every day. I have to stay employed for the next 3 weeks. And it might might get ugly. I'll be honest with you. This might get ugly before it's over with. But as long as I have a freaking job, then I have a company for the FMCSA to send that last, I believe it's going to be the last one, you guys. It's surely enough. And we're talking 2 weeks from now that they should send that to me. All I got to do is wait long enough to go take that last drug test and I'll be done with this crap. They usually come mid-month, so since I've been working with this company, since I got on the SAP program, they've been sending these random tests every month around the 14th. So if I can wait out, if I can hold it out until February 14th to get that last one, that last request sent in where I can go take it, all I'm doing right now, literally all I'm doing, I'm not even working right now, you guys. All I'm doing, the only thing I can see in my head right now is when I pee in that cup the last time. That's all I'm thinking about right now. So no matter how bad it gets, no matter how hard it gets, I'm not trying to hold this shit together anymore. It's too much. It feels like everything's falling apart around me. But with the way this company is, if this truck's not running, then I might not have a job. So I've got to keep this truck on the road. I got to keep it going. I have to deal with all of it on a daily basis. But like I said, another 3 weeks. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get through the next 3 weeks. I know I might sound desperate. I know I might sound crazy right now. And a little bit emotional about this, but unless you've been there, unless you can relate in somewhat, like you guys might be able to relate, you might not be able to relate. But if you've been there, then hopefully you can see where I'm coming from with this. This is a bad situation. I'm totally contradicting what I said in my last video too. But that was before all this other crap started happening. I'm down below Macon now. Here's what it's doing. Let me show you what it's doing and what I have to do as a counter measure to it. You see, I don't know if you can see that gauge or not, but it's at 0. I just filled the engine up with oil, right? Well, my gauge is reading 0, and it's going to continuously do this for as long as it wants to, I guess. Sometimes it'll do it for 5 minutes. Sometimes it'll do it for 2 hours. But I know the engine's not low on oil. I know that. I just filled it up. Okay? But here's what I have to do. You see this? I don't know if you can see the ignition down there, but I'm basically turning the ignition off. I'm turning the ignition off and turning it back on. I only have it off for a millisecond, you know, and then I turn it back on, and I continuously do this until that gauge goes back up. It looks like it's trying to go back up right now. obviously I'm losing power while I'm doing this. So I stay in the right lane. If I need to get on this, in case of an emergency, if I need to get on the shoulder, I'm in the right lane. I slowed down a little bit, but I have to flip the ignition, because if I don't, then the truck will shut off. And if the truck shuts off, I'll lose, you know, the engine stops turning over. I'm gonna lose power steering. I'm gonna lose my power steering, and that's not safe. So this flipping the ignition thing that I'm doing, that's basically what I'm trying to keep the engine turning over. I'm resetting all the electronics in the truck, because whatever the issue is, it's electronic, right? It's not necessarily a mechanical thing. It's electronic. So I just figure if I do it enough times, eventually it's gonna stop. But obviously while I'm doing this, all my gauges are going haywire because everything's resetting. So I can't use my speedometer, I can't use my RPMs, I can't use any of that as a gauge. I just had to listen to the engine and look at my speed on Google Maps to tell when I need to shift. Obviously, by flipping the ignition like that, I'm also causing the engine to stutter and lose power, which means that I'm going to ultimately slow down. I guess another way to explain it would be like I'm trying to override the electronic systems, all the electronic information in the ECU. I'm trying to override all that stuff by continuously resetting it, just to keep the mechanical aspect of the engine going. Because that's what it is ultimately. It might be that the truck needs a new ECU. There might be something wrong with it. If that's the case, they're probably not going to want to fork out the money to get a new ECU for the engine. And that's probably why they can't fix it. But I guess just to put it in layman's terms, like I'm some kind of expert, I'm not a mechanic. I'm just doing what they told me to do. But basically, that's what it is. It's the electronic systems that are used to protect the engine that are causing this to happen. There's a fault somewhere in the ECU. That's gotta be what it is. Because if the engine has oil in it, it's obviously got enough oil pressure to run without destroying itself. I wouldn't be able to hold highway speed if it didn't have oil in it, because eventually it would get so hot from all the friction that it would just naturally start breaking down, start destroying itself. I'm still 90 miles away from my delivery too. But guys, you know, with this truck in this condition, what can I do? What would you do? Maybe I should ask that question. What would you do in this situation? You're in the SAP program. You're 3 weeks away from getting out of it. And you know that if you give up, it's over. All the time that you spent trying to get yourself out of a messed up situation, all that time that you spent is for nothing. if you quit, if you give up, you wasted 5 months. What would you guys do if you were in my situation? I gotta keep going. I can't give up. Not now. I've come too far. I can't give up. I want to quit so bad. I just, like, part of me, I just want to be done with trucking. I do. But then, what will that mean? I'm sick of it, you guys. I'm sick of working 14-hour days for $200. You know what I'm saying? I can make more money than that working at McDonald's. But seriously, like, what will it mean if I give up now? I can't give up. I have a family to take care of. I have responsibilities. I can't let it go right now. I can't give it up. I gotta keep going. I've been a truck driver for 8 years, and I've been through a lot of shit during that time period. I've been through a lot. So much so that when things like this happen to me now, I'm just numb to it. I'm just numb. It is what it is. It came back. It's back. Yeah, see, I told you guys. It's just a matter of determination. I have no idea what I'm doing to this truck right now by continuously flipping the ignition like that. It cannot be good for it to do that. But I don't care. And apparently they don't care if I do it either. They just want me to get this shit delivered. That's all I'm trying to do. So until it decides it wants to act up again the next time, that right there, that's proof that basically the only thing I can do when it starts trying to break down is what I've been doing. It's the only freaking thing that's gonna work. As frustrating as it is. I've been doing it so much in the past week that I'm used to driving like that. I've gotten used to it. Shifting the gears and all, like everything while I'm sitting there flipping the ignition. At least I'm on the interstate and I'm not having to worry about stopping and all that crap, you know, making turns and this and that while it's going off, trying to break down on me. I've had to do that too. All right, we're coming up on our exit for Fitzgerald. We're still 25 miles away from this place. Guys, I just drove for over 50 miles having to flip that switch. Probably like 60 something miles. The biggest problem with it is that it's just completely unpredictable. I've come to realize that now. I thought that, you know, stopping the truck and adding oil to it would make a difference. It doesn't make a bit of difference. It's just completely unpredictable. You don't know when it's gonna start doing that. It's a problem. It's a big problem. Because if it starts doing it when I'm on 285, which it already has, by the way, but you know, in a situation like that where there's thick traffic, there's a lot of maneuvering I'm having to do. It puts me in a complicated situation. And if I don't, you know, be extremely careful with what I'm doing, it could potentially put me in a dangerous situation. So like I said, that's why I'm, you know, staying in that right lane, slowing down whenever it happens. What else can I do? Seriously, what else can I do? Refuse to drive it, put it out of service myself in a post-trip inspection or a DVIR? Well, we all know what's going to happen if I do that, so why would I even need to waste my breath? It's the most freaking ironic thing about all this. I get put in this situation, yeah, I messed up. I failed a drug test. I got my safety bonus, and 2 weeks later I failed a drug test and lost my job and got put on this program. The ironic thing is I didn't actually start getting forced to be put in dangerous situations until I found this job, the only company that would hire me in the SAP program. I take a job at this company and then I am actually put in potentially dangerous situations, one after the next. You guys have seen it. If you've kept up, you've seen the track record. That's the ironic thing about it. I mean, they're making a big deal about taking legal THC on the weekend and failing a drug test. They're making a big deal about that and how potentially dangerous you are, right? By taking legal THC when you're on break, off duty, not working. So then you stop doing that crap so that you can keep working as a truck driver. But then you find that the only way you're going to be able to keep working is if you take a job with a company that just doesn't give a shit about safety at all. Seems that way. So then you find that you're actually being put into circumstances and situations. I'll put it this way, you're finding that you're actually being put in dangerous situations, those very situations that they claimed you were causing by doing whatever you did to get put on the SAP program. So you do what they tell you to do, right? You come back to work and then you find that you're actually being put into those very situations that they were trying to avoid to begin with. Isn't that ironic? Don't you think? I do. I think it's extremely ironic. Now, if you want to wave your finger at me again and start pointing out how this is no better than what I was doing before, guys, remember I got my safety bonus right before I lost my job with a camera pointed at me every moment of my shift, and I still managed to get my safety bonus. Not only was it was there a camera pointed at me, the camera had artificial intelligence designed to pick up eye movement and other things. And if I was to do anything unsafe in that truck, the artificial intelligence would flag it. If anything happened outside of the algorithm that was designed for safety, the artificial intelligence would flag it, put it on a website, and somebody would find it, and then boom, I lose my safety bonus if I do something unsafe, right? Well, how did I manage to still get my safety bonus despite the fact that I had done legal THC while on break over the weekend? How did I manage to still get my safety bonus? I don't think I was really in a dangerous situation or creating a potentially dangerous situation, because when I used the stuff, I used it responsibly, and I didn't go near a truck when I used it. Okay, that's all I'm really saying by bringing that up repeatedly. Alright guys, I'm not doing this to brag. I'm just proving a point to you guys about all of this. Now, I don't want you to think that I'm a bullshitter. Okay, so I found this in my phone, and this is a safety score for my previous job, because that Samsara software that I'm talking about with the AI camera that watches everything that you do and tracks your eye movement and everything else, it's impossible to cheat this system, okay? But I'm just proving to you right here. This is a picture that I found, a screenshot from the month of September to October in 2022 when I was still at my previous job. And you see that right here. And you see my score right here, which is 100. And then if you look down right here, you'll see that I was in first place out of 78 drivers. I came in number 1 for that particular month. So I'm just showing you this, again, not to brag, but to prove to you guys my point that I was safe. I never put anybody in a dangerous situation. I never put myself into a dangerous situation at my previous job. And here's evidence of it. The only reason why I'm showing it to you is to prove to you guys that I'm not just talking shit. I'm not lying. I'm not exaggerating. And this is proof right here. Okay, quickly, the last thing I'd like to prove to you is my income at this previous job that I was talking about in the video entitled "So I Got Fired." Now, first of all, this is my W-2 from last year, and there's the company. As I said in that video, they are out of Illinois. Okay, now I'm going to come over here and show you my total earnings. Keep in mind, guys, this is 7 months worth of work. I got fired at the end of July. So according to this, from the month of January 2023 to the month of July 2023, I made $52,719. So had I not gotten fired and was able to stay with that company, I would have made pretty close to 100 grand last year. So that's the proof of my income. I wasn't lying about it. There it is. You see it right there. So the potentially dangerous stuff that I'm talking about right now, does that have anything to do with me, or does that have everything to do with the fact that I was out of options? I had no other choice but to come to work with this company, try the ropes, and figure all this out through experience with this company, the only company that would hire me in the SAP program. Think about that. Are they really helping anything? Are they really preventing anything? By restricting me, by punishing me, are they really improving anything? I'm a legitimate truck driver. I have a safe track record in every way. But they're forcing me to put myself in dangerous situations, to stay employed. How's that for exposure? What do you guys think about that? I'm just being honest. And deep down, I've thought this same way. You know, I've been thinking this the entire time that I've been doing this job. I've been thinking this. The trucking industry is corrupt. That's all I'm really saying. Okay, took a good look at this place on Google Earth, and I think I got it down pat. I'm gonna hang a left up here on US 129. There's a road that forks off to the right, just a little road, but I think that's how I'm gonna get back to where they'll unload me at. I don't think Tractor Supplies have actual docks like Home Depot does, but the unloading area, just put it that way, it's behind the building, and I'm pretty sure that this road is gonna get me back there the easiest without having to go through the parking lot and all that stuff. From the look of it anyway. I'm turning left at this light and it's just on the right there. I can actually see it, I think. In Fitzgerald, we've actually bypassed the city before. This is a no truck city, so they won't let you go straight through. You got to go around on the bypass. All right, where the hell is this place at? Okay, right there. So there's a road that forks off to the right here. And I'm pretty sure I can get in from this road, yeah. Yep, here it is. All right, so I was totally off. Turns out they're gonna unload me in the front parking lot. Didn't see any of this on Google Earth. But I am basically, I'm gonna try to turn it as wide as I can right here. Get down here over top of these parking spots. This is where they're going to unload me because they keep it in that inside that fence right there, I'm assuming. Okay, this should be good. Yep. Normally, with there being people and stuff over there, I wouldn't try to throw these all the way across to the other side. I'd kind of throw them up there so I could pull them down when I got on the other side. But with it being these bags, it's plastic, these things tend to get caught on the plastic if you don't make it all the way over. And if you try to pull on it when it gets caught, it'll rip the bags open. So I gotta throw it all the way over. Okay guys, what can I say? I can't say much. I was an hour late getting here because of the truck problems, and well, I said it was gonna take at least 30 minutes to get unloaded. Well, it took an hour to get unloaded. It's now noon. So, on paper, what I'm supposed to do is head up to a place that's over 2 hours away, pick a load up of sand, possibly tarp it, depending on if they make me tarp it or not, or how they even package the crap, and then head up to Buford, Georgia, which is another 2.5 hours away. So we're talking probably 5.5 hours to do all that, right? Well, it's noon and my cutoff time in Buford was 1400. In other words, I'm gonna be about 3.5 hours late for that appointment, if I even made it. It might be 1730, 1800 before I get there tonight. You think anybody's gonna be there at that job site to unload me? I don't. Gotta start sweeping my deck off, because you got loose rocks and stuff on your deck, or anything loose on your deck. DOT catches you, boom, $1,000 fine for unsecured freight, even if it's mud. I'm lucky if I make $1,000 in a freaking week. Okay, sounds good. Normally I'll, if it's just mud and stuff, I'll just throw it over there in the grass, but since we're in the front parking lot, I don't like doing that. If it's around back, it's not a big deal, but if it's wood, I either try to find a dumpster, or I'll actually take one of my trash bags in the truck and throw it in there. I know what you guys were thinking. Well, don't worry, because I don't do that. I don't sweep crap onto the ground, especially if it's garbage. If it's mud, it's not that big of a deal, but yeah, wood, anything like that, I don't ever sweep that crap onto the ground. I know it seems weird putting mud on a pallet, but they catch you driving around with your trailer like that, they'll fine you $1,000. Yeah, either one's yours.
Oh, so it's the same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Thank you. Okay. Real question is, how the hell do I get out of here? I don't have enough room to turn around. I'm gonna have to go that way. And I gotta make a left out there onto that busy highway. Honestly, guys, I don't even know why I'm going to pick this next load up. It's a freaking disaster. I'm gonna have to get my back end over that way as far as I can so I can make this left turn without hitting that fence. I'm gonna have to go out that way. I don't have any other choice. Even if I were able to get out to that road where I came in at, there's no light to help me make that left turn, so it's not like it really matters. So I'm actually gonna get to this place to pick this stuff up after it's delivery appointment time. See what they have to say to me when I get there. They're not gonna be happy, I know that. The fact that this sand I'm picking up is supposed to be going to a construction site, that really sucks for them, because they're gonna have to wait on it now. What if they need it, you know? What if they're waiting on it already? What if it's like holding them up, you know, preventing them from making progress? And then they're really gonna be pissed. You see, I'm not trying to pass judgment or anything, but it takes a certain amount of know-how to be a dispatcher. I mean, it takes understanding. It takes understanding of time itself, you know. Tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to get on this aisle right here and back up and then swing it out to the right. I have a little bit of room to do that once I get over there. The bad thing is my trailer is gonna have to get almost completely straight before I can get through there, because it's very narrow through there. I'm actually gonna have to get even further over than that. There's a lamp post back there. All right, now if I swing it all the way over here as far as I can, I'm hoping that'll be enough. I think it will be if I do it just right. It's a little bit wider than I thought it was. It is two-way, so that's good. But now, I'm gonna have to get all the way over here. As close to that fence as I can get to make this turn. Did it. Now this highway here, Georgia 107. Another freaking tight turn right there. That's why I came up over the curb. This road's gonna take me all the way back to 75. I gotta go up about 30 miles on 75 and get off at the exit for Montezuma. Onto another Georgia Highway 90. And that'll get me pretty close to the place, but it's way off the interstate. That's why it's gonna take 2 hours to get there. It's actually over 100 miles away from here. So if you're a truck driver and you're watching this video, I'm gonna show you my route today that he expected me to do. I'm gonna show you how many miles it is. As I said before, it's including the way back to the yard, it's over 500 miles. And he expected me to get this done today. I'm gonna show you the appointment times again. Now you tell me if you think that's reasonable. You tell me whether you're good enough to get that done in those time periods, or if it's just physically impossible. I mean, it's not like we have freaking rockets strapped to these trucks. They don't go that freaking fast. But he set it up like that. That's how he set up my day. And I've got a lot of pet peeves. I've got a lot of things about my job that irritate me. But that blind ignorance is what pisses me off more than anything else. Unrealistic expectations. Okay? Not only do I not have a rocket strapped to my truck is breaking down. You guys have already seen it. You've seen what it's doing, right? And he still expected me to get this done today. So if I seem like I've got an attitude, if I seem like I'm irritated today, I'm sorry, but I'm just tired of putting up with stuff like this. I am. I'm tired of it. I'm worth more than this. As a professional driver, I think I deserve a certain level of respect. I'm not talking about entitlement. I'm just saying I think I deserve a certain level of respect from my employer, and I don't feel like I've gotten that in this situation. But like I said before, I don't care what happens. I don't care if it gets done or not. It's obviously not going to get done on time, whatever happens, happens. I'm just trying to survive the next 3 weeks. That's all I'm concerned about. That's all I'm worried about right now. So no, I really, honestly, I don't care how late I am. I'm just gonna keep trucking and see what happens. That's right, keep on trucking. We're about to keep trucking. We're gonna truck right through the town of Montezuma. $40 miles away from Mock at this point. I've been through this town before. There are some questionable roads up ahead. I'm trying to stay on Highway 90 though, that's the highway I was telling you about before. It's hard to tell exactly which way to go with this GPS. It's hard to tell, but I'm just gonna, until I see a no truck sign, I'm just gonna keep following highway signs for 90. And that's how I plan on getting through. And if I screw up, well, at least people around here seem to be pretty friendly, so. I need to take a right here because 90's going this way now. We're basically gonna veer from due west to due north. Oh wow, look at that Greek revival right there. Nice. You probably couldn't see it, but so this is Montezuma right here, but apparently there's another city right next to it called Oglethorpe. This is a truck route right here anyway. I have to make a left turn. Looks like before we get on the other side of the square or whatever it may be. Not seeing any no trucks on, so that's good. Okay, it's just a split highway. That's an old building. Very curvy. Okay. So if we just drove through Montezuma, we got a sign right here. It says Oglethorpe 2 miles. So I believe we'll be bypassing that town, because it actually has a bypass road for it. Okay, it says this Buck Creek bypass is closed. There are detour signs. So it looks like we will be going through Oglethorpe after all. So again, I'm gonna stick to my original plan. That is to stay on 90. Follow the detour signs. Well, I guess I'll follow the detour signs until I get back to 90. Should the detour signs take me off of it, they should put me right back on, I would think. Okay. Yep. They're gonna keep me on 90. We'll be going through town. So I guess if you're in a truck, normally you know, under normal circumstances, you wouldn't be able to come through here because of the bypass being right there, you know. Right around the corner from the place at this point, pretty dang close to it. We made it to Mock. It's almost 14:30 now, so getting here about 30 minutes after the cutoff time for the delivery, and I'm just now here to pick the freaking load up. So I'm gonna see how this goes. I might get chewed out for it. They might not be very happy with me. But if they only knew, right? If they only knew. Okay, a couple changes have occurred. I know I made a big deal about this. I'm feeling kind of stupid now for running my mouth so much, but I've had negative experiences in the past with these impossible dispatches. So, couple things. You saw what he's putting on my trailer. So these are big bags of sand. So they're not on pallets. I mean, actually they are on pallets, but they're not like individual little bags. So I'm not thinking that I'm gonna have to tarp this stuff, honestly. Doesn't look like it's gonna be necessary to tarp it. I'm gonna have to confirm that with my boss. But another good positive thing that's just happened is that they're saying that it's okay. I'm gonna end up waiting until tomorrow morning to deliver it. They're gonna be there at like 8:30. So what I might do is I might hold off and finish the rest of this video while I go up there and deliver this tomorrow. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be okay, despite the load being, you know, that late, having to come the next day. It's not the end of the world, but it never was the end of the world for my boss. It was never the end of the world for me, even though I might have acted like it was in some points of this video, been a little dramatic about it, but you just never know. I've had some really bad experiences delivering late loads in the past. Like, I've had to deal, especially when I did food service, that was the worst, because you got customers waiting on you to get there to deliver their stuff. They can't run their business without their stuff. They can't work, therefore they can't make money. Therefore you're holding them up, you're preventing them from making money. And when it's something like construction, it's a big deal, because, you know, if they're actually waiting on you, you're holding a whole crew up, a construction crew. They're waiting on you to get there, and they don't understand why it's taking so long. And I mean, what are you going to tell them, you know, that I was double booked? That's the only thing that I could tell them, is that, you know, I was trying to do two different things at one time, the way that I was dispatched. And I can only do one thing at one time. I'm only one truck, I'm only one guy. But yes, one time when I worked for Schneider, back when I was still over the road, see, there's a truck right there, he's leaving. I don't think he's gonna tarp his stuff. Honestly, I don't see him doing that. So odds are I'm not gonna be tarping this. But yeah, I picked a load up. It was a relay load. It was an emergency relay load. And I picked it up from another driver in Pennsylvania, and I had to go to upstate New York. It was a dedicated load for Big Lots. And I wasn't a dedicated driver. I was just filling in for him. They picked me because I was the guy that was the closest in the area to the guy. But apparently he had an accident and his truck was so messed up he couldn't drive it after that. So I had to meet him at a truck stop in Pennsylvania and take his load up to the store in upstate New York. It was near Buffalo. And when I got there, oh my God, they were so pissed off because their load was like a day late. And who do you think they took that frustration out on? Even though I was doing them a favor, I was actually getting their load delivered to them. You know, I was sticking my neck out for them to get their load delivered because the guy that was supposed to do it got in an accident. So was it really my fault that the load was late? No. But because I represented the company on the front line, that's all they could see. Well, this company's here now. Regardless of what company it may or may not be. It was the same thing when I told you guys I used to do cable, I used to do satellite installation, residential and commercial, and they would book us up so much in the period of a day that we would be running hours and hours and hours behind. Sometimes we just couldn't keep up. We couldn't catch up with it. We were so freaking busy just running here, running there, all over the place. And, you know, I would show up at customers' houses 6 hours late sometimes. And by that point, they were so steaming, fuming, angry because I was that late. And did they blame it on the company for overbooking me for the day? Putting too many jobs on me, putting stuff on me that they knew that I would not physically be able to finish? They didn't think about any of that. All they thought is, well, the cable guy's finally here and I'm about to give him a piece of my mind because he's 6 hours late. That kind of thing. Stuff that I have no control of. It's just completely out of my control, you know? And a lot of times, some of these places, when you show up late with the load, they just look at you like you're a lazy piece of crap that doesn't want to work. When in reality, you're just running that far behind because you have truck issues, you have traffic issues, you might have accident issues, you might have weather issues, you might have anything that would hold you up. But no, you're actually sticking your neck out, you're doing the best you can to get their load delivered, and they don't look at it in a positive light. Or despite everything this driver's been through today, they still managed to get my load delivered. Even though it's late, I think they did pretty good considering their odds that they had to face to get here. You know, they don't think about it like that. They just think about it, well, you know, you're late and there's a reason why you're late. It's because you're lazy or something like that. And they talk to you like that often. But fortunately, in this case, it went well. It worked out. They're not upset. Well, actually, I haven't talked to the people that are receiving the sand. I just talked to the broker that set the load up. He's not upset about it, so that just tells me that they're probably not going to be upset about it. There are several trucks coming out of this sand plant, whatever you want to call it, quarry, I guess, today that are going up there delivering. So chances are I'm just one in several, and chances are they're not going to be that upset if I don't show up today, and that's a good thing. If it's a bunch of truckloads of stuff showing up, it's usually not that big of a deal. But if you're the only one that has something that they really need that bad, it's more of a big deal to them. Okay guys, you see the load is ready to go. It is 15:30 now. All I gotta do is go back to Jackson now because, well, we just talked about it. It's gonna take an hour and a half to get there. Okay, so other than the truck issues I had today wasn't too bad. When I talked to him, no, he was like, well, it really would be better if you could go up there tonight and get unloaded. Yeah, because the world revolves around you, right? Everybody's just supposed to do things the way that you want them to do them, and well, you might be able to make me do stuff like that for you, but that doesn't mean anybody else is. I'm sorry, you guys. I seem to be butting heads a little bit with this guy at the moment. Like, we're not seeing eye to eye about several things, if you guys can't tell. I have to run in here and print my exit weight out on this ticket. Here's what the load's looking like though. Okay, as long as I do everything the way he said. It shouldn't be too hard. Hit the OK button. Hit release. And there we go. Now we can get out of here. They make these scales so dang narrow, man, I swear. Net weight is like 45 and some change. Gross is like almost 77. Well, I tell you what, this Georgia Highway 42 sure is a twisty, winding road. This is Forsyth. I used to have some family that lived over here. I'm not sure if any of them are still around in these parts, but I used to come over here when I was a kid, spend the weekend with like my third cousins, and they were distant family, but yeah. I remember coming to this city when I was a kid. I'm from Conyers, so it was, you know, it's about an hour away from Conyers, or it used to be back then before the traffic got horrible like it is now. Pretty nice city though. As I was saying before, Georgia 42 actually goes through another town. It's not far from where I live actually. It's called Indian Springs. Not too far from me. Maybe half an hour or so. After we cross over 75. We'll get to check that out. Check their courthouse out though. It's pretty nice. It's a good looking building. I just want to apologize to you guys. Like, I know I was I acted completely ridiculous in this video. It's not your fault that I'm in the situation that I'm in. The reason why I'm saying it's not your fault is that you shouldn't have to sit here and listen to me complain about my screw ups, you know. I screwed up and I'm dealing with the consequences. And the reason why I'm dealing with the consequences is because of myself. Because I'm the one that screwed up. So as bad as things may get, and as bad as things have been, it's still on me. You know what I'm saying? And I'll probably end up having to repeat myself and say it over and over again. Like, it's not my intention to put myself on YouTube sounding like a complete asshole, a complete jerk. And I feel like that's the way I acted today. I acted like a complete asshole, and I got it on camera for people to watch. Like, I definitely proved to you guys today that I'm human and I have emotions, I have tolerances, I have a threshold before I feel like I'm being pushed over the edge. And when I feel like I'm being pushed over the edge and I'm stressed out, I can become an asshole. I mean, anybody can under those kind of circumstances. I just want you guys to know that. Like, I don't mean to sound like that. Like, I don't mean to sound rude or sound like a jerk, but I was pretty stressed out today with the truck acting the way it was earlier, and just knowing that I had this task being forced on me, something that I knew that I couldn't possibly do. It caused me to react like that. And even after I think I already told you guys this, but even after I called, which, by the way, you know, here's another thing that I don't understand, but the company that I work for, the office, they call and they will set these loads up. They'll set the loads up. They get them off of a load board. They get them off of several load boards. So they will reach out to the broker to set the loads up, right? I'm sure the broker asks them questions that they expect my company to answer honestly. Questions about appointments and time periods and the ability to do certain things and come through. Why wouldn't they ask those questions? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't entrust a contract to a carrier company that, you know, unless that carrier company can, you know, be dependable, right? Otherwise, you're wasting time, money, and effort to set load contracts up. So, because this load was set up, the one I'm hauling right now, it was obviously set up with the office for my company, whether that was my boss, whether that was the dispatcher, whoever else clerical in the office. There's only a couple people in the office. It's very small because it's a small company, right? So if they could call and request the load from the load board and reach out to the broker and set it all up, what my question is knowing how things were going today, knowing how things were set up, knowing that I wouldn't have enough time to get it done, right? I just expected my office to reach out to the broker to let them know that I wasn't gonna make it on time. I expected my office to be tracking me, where I was at, you know, what the time period was looking like, what time my ETA would look like, to the pickup, everything else. Why wouldn't they be tracking me? That's what every other carrier company out there does. And when they see that there's a problem, or especially when the driver lets them know there's a problem, that's usually what they'll do. They'll reach out to the customer, or they'll reach out to the broker that set the load up and let them know that there's gonna be issues. There's gonna be time constraints. The load is gonna be late for X, Y, and Z reasons. Okay, that's what every other normal carrier company does, right? So I called my boss after I got to the pickup to let him know what my ETA would be if I were to drive all the way to Buford to deliver today, because I really expected that he himself, if not him, then like I said, the dispatcher, you know, whoever sets up the loads, whoever has that clerical office position, I expected them to reach out to the customer or the broker to let them know that I wouldn't make it on time. That's what I expected. That's what every other carrier company would do. Every other carrier company I've worked for, especially the big ones, they don't even want you as a driver talking to their customers. When I worked for Schneider, they would always say, don't ever call the customer, call us, because we want to talk to the customer. We don't want you talking to our customers. That's what they would tell us. Well, with this company, it's the exact opposite. So what am I getting at? What I'm getting at is to say this. Not only did he set this load up knowing that it would fail, that I wouldn't make it there on time to the delivery, he also expected me to reach out to the broker to let them know why I wouldn't make it to the appointment time. So basically, he set me up for failure, and then he wanted me to deal with the responsibility of explaining how I failed or why I wouldn't make it, why I wouldn't be able to come through. You see, it's stuff like that just gets under my skin. Because if it were up to me, I never would have set myself up to pick anything up with a delivery that I knew for a fact I would never make it to. You see what I'm saying? So not only did he irresponsibly set this failure up, but then when it actually failed, he refused the responsibility of communicating with the person he set it up with. He wanted me to deal with that blow, not him. And that bothers me. I guess it's somewhere deep down in his head, he's thinking, well, oh, if it were up to me, if I were in the position, if I was running those loads, I would have made it on time. You know, that's how I feel about it. That's how I feel he's thinking about it, you know? Because get this, even after I called him to tell him that I was gonna be 4 hours late if I tried to deliver today, he actually said, well, it would be better off, we would be better off, and it would be better if they would stay late and wait for you to get there. You think they're actually gonna do that? No, they're not gonna do that. They've been working all day. They wanna go home. How can you not understand this logic? How does this not adding up for you? Why can't you understand basic things? And better yet, how are you running a business right now? If that's the way you think, that's the way you operate. No wonder I'm driving a truck that's almost 20 years old, that you've had with your company since you started doing this 20 years ago. It's because you can't get another truck, because you're not making any progress. I'm gonna stop right there. I'm not gonna say anything else. I'm just trying to prove a point. I'm trying to make a point. And I can't work for somebody like that. And I'm gonna have to tell him that. I'm gonna have to stand up to him and tell him that on my last day. I'm gonna have to tell him why I'm leaving. And I will. I'm not gonna hesitate. He's put me in some messed up situations. And most of the time, despite being in a messed up situation, most of the time I still manage to come through for him. And I guess he thinks I'm just gonna continue to do that for $200 a day, you know, but I'm not. In order for me to do my job and be successful, I have to work with people that are reasonable and have common sense. And think about other people. And that's all I really wanted to say, other than the fact that to apologize and say I'm sorry for sounding like such an asshole. And I hope you didn't think that I was directing anything toward you. I was just expressing myself in the moment, a very stressful moment. This past month has really just pushed me over the edge, and I'm not normally like this unless I'm provoked repeatedly. All right, last thing I want to show you today is this awesome little shortcut to get to my yard in Jackson. This is 2342 right here. So we've come together with 23. We were just on 42 exclusively. Well, this is where they come together, and there's a lot of construction going on up here right now. They had this awesome interchange set up right here. Those trucks you see right there turning onto this road, that's actually 42 right there. That's where 42 separates with 23. And it was a really cool interchange. I mean, they had it set up, they had it working really well. But because Georgia is so asphyxiated and mesmerized by freaking roundabouts, they're changing it. They're turning that into a freaking roundabout, just like they're doing with everything else across this state. Everything is becoming a roundabout. I mean, there was nothing wrong with that interchange. It worked perfectly. It was set up. It was nice. Wasn't nothing wrong with it. And they're turning it into a roundabout just for the sake of having another freaking roundabout. Nothing more. There's a road up here on the right. That's the road I'm gonna turn onto. That's the shortcut. Because otherwise you have to go all the way up to the town of Jackson, where 2342 here also comes together with Georgia 16, which I've shown you before. I've probably shown you, you know, this stretch of road right here before. Really don't know, I can't remember. But I don't think I've shown you this shortcut. And my yard's literally right around the corner from here. Like less than a mile from here. This is the road. Here's the right turn onto Georgia 16. People on this highway right here, 16, some of them got some serious freaking issues with road rage. Like that drive from Monticello down there to Jackson over here is a very pleasant, smooth ride. I don't understand. It's not like you're driving on 285, but people think that they're driving on 285. They act like they're driving on 285. and they've got some serious road rage. I guess it's because of the trucks. There is a lot of truck traffic on this road, and they don't like that. But yeah, I'm literally right here. So I'm gonna let you guys go before I pull in there. I'll see you first thing in the morning though. We're off to see the wizard. No, we're off to Gwinnett County. Gosh, I can't think of the name of this city. What is it? Beaufort. Okay, Beaufort. The tippity top of Gwinnett County. Long start this morning. I came in, I did my pre-trip, right? Started checking everything on the truck once again. The oil, the water. The oil is exactly where I want it to be. It's at the very tippity top of that crosshatch, lattice, whatever you want to call it, pattern on the dipstick. That's exactly where I want it to be. So it's perfect right now. Hopefully I won't have any issues with the oil light on my way up there. Is it going to take a little bit longer to take surface streets to get there? Yes. Do I care? Hell no, I don't. But anyway, I started checking the coolant after that, coolant reservoir, see how much water I had in it. Well, I ended up being about 4 gallons low once again. Is that truck right there, that white Peterbilt? That I just waved at? That guy is one of our other drivers. That's the other guy that's been here the whole time that I've been here. They took him out of his truck and they put him in that white Peterbilt. That was supposed to be the truck that they were gonna put me in should my truck have any further issues. Well, now he's in it. I don't know what happened to his. He's actually got a 379 Pete, or at least he did. I don't know what the hell happened to it. I don't know where it is. But now he's in that truck. That's why I'm being forced to stay in this truck. I know I told you guys they have another truck in Jackson that I can use if my truck starts having too many issues. Well, now that other guy's in that truck and I don't know why. I'm thinking I might actually be able to stop on that road right outside of the school. Hopefully I won't be blocking it. It is a 1-lane road, however. I keep putting it in 6th gear and the stupid clutch keeps slipping when I put it in 6th gear. Here comes the oil pressure. Here comes the oil pressure light. Okay, it's acting up now at the worst freaking time imaginable. Don't you love how things work out? This truck, man, I swear, this truck does not like me. Okay, so as far as like the downshifting and all that, this is what I was worried about, having a freaking slow down, downshift while flipping that ignition at the same time. If I don't do this, the truck will shut off. I'll lose my power steering and then I'll get stranded on the freaking road, blocking a lane. And I'm trying to prevent that from happening. All right, I'm gonna stick to my original plan. There's a parkway that is 2 lanes down here. It's in 2 miles. actually got it on camera that time where it just went off. It went off right after I shifted into 6th gear and the clutch slipped and I had to take it out of gear and put it back in gear. It started going off after I did that. I wonder if it's related to the clutch slipping. Makes me wonder, you know. I kind of got to get in a pattern. I got to get in a flow, because the one good thing about it is once the alarm starts going off, I'll flip it once like this and the alarm will stay on, meaning the truck will still shut down almost immediately if I don't flip it again. But after I flip it that second time, it goes out for, I don't know, 5-10 seconds, which gives me enough time to accelerate like that. It's about to go off again. There it goes. So I'm gonna have to flip it. When those gauges reset, they go back down. I'll flip it again. It's gonna go out for another 5 seconds, I guess. And then it's gonna do it again. I gotta repeat the process over and over and over and over again. All right, gauge is coming back down. Flip it again. It's gonna go out. Why am I in the left lane? Because I have to make a left turn up here in less than a mile. Downshift for the light. It's gonna go off. All right, there it goes. Flip it. Let the gauges go up, come back down, flip it again. Another 5-second delay. All right, it should be the next red light intersection up here where I'm turning. All right, I'm gonna have to upshift. Try to get some speed. This truck's giving off a horrible smell too. While all this is going on, I can smell the truck. I think it's a mixture of antifreeze, hot water, burning electronics, and burning oil. It's a mixture of all those things. Here comes my left turn at this next light. All right, downshift. Gauges come back down. Do it again. Idling. This is the parkway. It's got 2 lanes, so I'm just gonna have to stop. It says no through trucks, but I have to go this way. I don't have a freaking choice. I'm gonna go. Stupid ass alarm's gonna go off again. I'm gonna get in the right lane. I'm not technically a through truck. I'm delivering at this school. So what are they gonna say to me for getting on the road? I mean, seriously, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna say? There's a construction site right there. I'm gonna get right here and I'm gonna call him. Because the school is right there. I'm gonna get out of the road. I'm gonna shut my truck off for a minute. Right, guys, so there's a security officer, cop over there I just talked to. He figured it out for me, thankfully. Truck seems to be doing better now too, so he said to make a right down here at this light. So there's a traffic light down here to make a right at. I guess not. No. Okay. A big complex right here. He said that, okay, I can see it. All right, I can see it. I can see there's another flatbed up there getting unloaded. It's got the same stuff, so we're good. This turn right here is not so good though. There's a sign right there. I'm gonna have to pull all the way out here. Okay, and I believe I'm gonna be turning in here. They got a lot of sand. I don't know if I need to be pulling in there though. I don't know, like there's a big stadium. And it looks like that truck okay, well, it looks like there is another exit, so maybe I can go ahead and pull in and be okay pulling in there. But I don't know if that guy's gonna go all the way around or if he's gonna try to back out right here. If he's gonna back out right here, I'm gonna be in his way if I pull in there. So the best thing that I can do is just wait. I told you guys in a previous video that Gwinnett County has some of the highest taxes in the state of Georgia. Well, look at the result of it. I mean, look at their freaking schools. They're like freaking universities or something. They're serious. It's pretty impressive, actually. If I pull in there, I'm gonna be blocking their driveway, so I'm gonna sit right where I'm at. And just hope that nobody has to get in here. I'm gonna set my brakes. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys me delivering at the school, and I made it despite the truck doing its thing that it always does these days. I'm not gonna say I hope you enjoyed this video, because I'm sure you guys probably didn't, unless you're a masochist or something. I'm not a masochist. That's why I'm upset right now. It's because in order to actually like what I've been through in the past 24 hours, I think you have to be a masochist. Like, it's been a pain, you know, as far as the truck goes and all that. It's been a pain to deal with. But yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go until the next one. Hopefully things will get better by then. If not, well, I'm just waiting for that day, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to live each day at a time, one day at a time, you know, and deal with things as they come. That's the best I can do. I can't do any better than that. I'm gonna get through this. One step at a time, I'm gonna get through this. I think I've dealt with the penalty enough. I think I've been punished enough for what I did. Honestly, I think justice has been served. Now I just think I'm getting kicked in the ass repeatedly. Because this is truck driving, and that's what happens with truck driving. You know, in my mind, the punishment was the loss of pay. You know, the pay deduction, the harder work that I'm doing than what I was doing before. That, in my mind, that's my punishment. And I think I received it without complaining. I served it well. I did what I had to do. All right, I'm gonna have to let you guys go. I'll finish that statement in a minute. Okay, guys. Wow, look at that field. Look how fresh and pedicured it is. Manicured. I don't know what the right word is. Okay, I just had a long conversation with my boss and explained to him what's going on. So he has a plan to try to sort this out. He said he's planning on overhauling this truck. Whatever the heck that means. I don't know what that means. But he says that he's just gonna get it off the road. He's agreeing with me, you know, he is concerned. He's acting like he's concerned about the safety factor of it. So he doesn't want me driving this truck anymore, but he said that I can drive another truck, which you guys have seen it before. It's that Western Star truck. It's the 13-speed. Or he wants me to get in that truck for the rest of the week, and he wants to take this truck off the road. And I explained to him, you know, when I tried to drive that truck that one day, you know, I made a video about it for you guys to laugh at me, because that's how bad I performed in that truck, because I'm not used to that truck, and it's gonna take time for me to get used to that truck. I also explained to him that I didn't like the way the brakes felt. They did not feel safe to me the day I tried to drive that truck. So, and he agreed with me, because he had to drive it recently, and he was like, yeah, you were right about those brakes. They were out of alignment. So he agreed with me about that. But he said he fixed the brakes. He said they were just out of adjustment, and they should feel better now. So I'm gonna get in it for the rest of the day. I have to drive back down there, pick a load up going to Austell, and drive all the way to Austell. That's pretty far. He said at least give it a try. He said if I can't drive the truck, or if I don't feel comfortable driving it, that I don't have to. But basically he was saying, you know, if you can't drive that other truck, then you just take the rest of the week off while we fix your truck. That's what he said, basically. Now, I'm gonna give this other truck a shot. I'm gonna try to drive it again. I might even make a video about it. I mean, honestly, the one day I drove that truck, all hell broke loose. I ended up breaking down on the side of the freaking, or actually not on the side of the road, in the middle of the road. I ended up breaking down, and they had to pay for a tow truck to tow me. And get me out of the road, and they were not happy about that at all. So let's just say my hopes aren't very high, because that truck broke down on me too. So I'm gonna try to drive it today, but if I can't work with it and I don't feel safe driving it, then I'm not driving it. I'm not just gonna give up. You know, I am actually going to give it a go and take it seriously and do the best I can. I am gonna do the best I can, but if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I'm just gonna have to wait for them to fix this truck, because if I can't drive that other truck, then I'm not any safer on the road than I am in this truck right now. So I'm gonna let you go with that. At least he is finally gonna supposedly do something about this truck. I hope they fix it this time. They're gonna have it at their disposal for a considerable amount of time, and hopefully they can just freaking tear into the thing and really put the time, the effort, and the money into fixing it. But I'll let you guys go. Thanks for watching this video, these videos. I don't know how if I'm gonna separate it or if I'm gonna make it all one video, but thanks for watching anyway. I'll see you guys again in the near future to let you know, give you an update on my story, how things are going for me. Until then, take it easy. Later.